Why, hello everybody. I lied to you guys. Okay, well, I didn't lie. Timing got ahead of me. I said I was going to get this. I said I was going to get this. I finished my quilt. I got the last video I did. I was talking about doing stitching in the ditch up here, and then this. And I know the camera's picking this up beautifully. So what I've done, what's happened is I went ahead and finished all of this. This blanket is done. So this is now what it looks like on all four sides. And I've gotten in here and I did my binding. There we go. Now you can see it better. This is, I was going to make sure, I can't, if I lean forward onto this microphone, then you'll hear muffle. I was going to make it a point of getting on camera to show you guys how to do the binding. And what happened was, it's like, it was late enough at night, at least it was already in bed, and I was just on a roll, so I kept going. And then I realized I can just finish it, so I did. So this is a 1 inch. I did this by cutting a 2-inch strip, folding it in. I've got other videos on the channel showing how to do, this is self-binding. So it's just the back, I've left extra, rolled it forward, folded it down, and made the binding under that instead of adding a separate binding. A lot of people like to pick, this is the front, this is the back. They like to add a coordinating color to tie the two together. And self-binding just takes the back and pulls it to the front. So what I've done here is I got the self-binding done. Self-binding is I do self-binding for almost everything that I do. So you guys are going to get plenty of opportunities to see how the self-binding goes. So it's done. And what I've also done, I got the binding done. I really like this rustic look that you get after having washed your fabric. So I do not wash my fabric first, because then once you make your quilt, I don't wash the fabric, I make my quilt, I quilt everything up, then I wash it, and then it gets these beautiful little puffs. It's really puffy all over the place. And Lisa and I both just really like, it's easier to see on the front than the back. And Lisa and I just love the way that the fabric goes like this. It makes it look a lot more fluffy, more rustic, more boho. I really love the rustic / boho effect. I mean, this is going to be a lap blanket. We've got 2 dogs. Dogs are going to be all over this. So if I try too hard to make this perfect, then I'm just going to be all kinds of anxious all the time about letting the dogs near it, leaving it out where it might end up on the floor and get stepped on and whatever. So this I find a lot nicer. So this is done. This is completely done. This is completely done. Sorry that I didn't keep my promise because I said I was going to come back, but I just wanted you guys to get a look, and I'm going to lift up this camera, go like that. See if I'm doing it right. Hopefully I'm doing it right. I'm going to back up and give you guys a look at the finished product. And there it is. I did this as a square because it's it's big enough to put on a bed, but it's also still just barely small enough to be a lap blanket. So now you can just use it any way you want. And it's all done. I still have my speed test quilt. I'm going to do this same pattern again, but without doing the strips. This will be just one solid color. I'm going to be doing the same pattern again, and I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently because I want to take the time to see how little time I can get a quilt done in. And I have no idea when I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do it. I keep promising it and not getting into it. It's a promise I am going to keep. I have to wait for a weekend where Lisa has extra time, which might end up being next week. I have to wait till Lisa has extra time because if I'm going to do a speed run, then somebody else has to be in charge of the camera, because what I find is something as simple as just doing a basic whatever ends up taking me, I can spend half an hour doing something that should only take 5 to 10 minutes because I'm talking you guys, like the purpose of these videos is this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it for people that want to sew along and whatever. So when I do my speed run, I need a cameraman, camera woman, camera wife. So the speed run is coming. I am just waiting. Lisa's very busy. Anybody who knows who my wife is knows that she's very, very busy. So the speed run is coming, and that, oh, I found a loose thread. After you've washed your quilt, after you've finished your quilt and washed it some people finish their quilts and just use them. Some people wash all of their fabrics front and back, not the batting, but wash their fabric before quilting. I don't do that. I am absolutely in love with this rustic. I'm absolutely in love with this effect that you get with this. I'm absolutely in love with that effect. So I don't iron, I don't wash before I do it because I like this effect. I'm going for this on purpose. So it does save some time, to be honest. To be honest, if you are, I always joke around about unless you're in a quilting, unless you're trying to enter your quilt into a contest, then this can be the best way to do it because any minor imperfections have now disappeared into the blanket. I can probably find them if I go looking because I know when and where I made my little minor imperfections. I was sewing along, got distracted, and had a 1-inch stitch. Had to go back and forth again. I know where that is. You're never going to find it, which means, okay, not that it's a challenge, but not that it's a challenge and not that it's a dare. But the thing is that this particular effect, not only do I love this effect, but it does mean if you have little tiny beginner mistakes through here, they're not visible anymore. I got lucky. I only had a couple spots that didn't do what I wanted to do, and they weren't big enough to actually be considered a problem worth fixing. But I'm not supposed to be babbling for an hour. Well, I'm probably going to babble for an hour. We know that's what I'm going to do. So this is done. So the speed run. What I'm going to be doing for my speed run, and I'll make sure that everybody's got the information up front, is I'm still going to do the big piece here, but this piece on this quilt is all small pieces sewn together in a big strip. So for the speed run, this is going to be one fabric, one entire fabric. I'll still be using 4 of them because of the way they meet up, because I'll still be doing the Bridget's cross. And I'm going to be doing it quilt as you go style. I'm going to be doing it quilt as you go style because this one here, I did the entire top first, and then I had to quilt it all at once, but quilt as you go will let me break this. There's 4 of these. There's 4 sections that look just like this. Flip it over, you got the same thing. Again, there it is, right? So what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be going for this design with the single band thing on the bottom. I might make this a little wider. I might even make this like 8 inches. But I'm going to do this in 4 panels because then I can prep it, quilt it. I can quilt each one separately and then join them together. So I'll be using my quilt as you go process and self-binding, and going from there. But I'm also on the speed run. I made the decision that when I do the speed run, I'm going to be using flannelette, which a lot of people use for diapers, diaper flannel. I'm going to be using flannelette because flannelette requires no. I'm still going to top stitch, but flannelette requires no top stitching at all. So I can be even lazier and maybe just do a few big. I don't know how that's going to look yet. And I may change my mind by the time I get back to it and be back to saying I'm going to use batting, because I don't mind doing the top stitching. I prefer doing it in smaller pieces. And so we're going to go with that. But anyway, this one's done. This one's done. The wife has already claimed it for her very, very own. Already claimed it. There was some talk about whether or not I might put this one in the shop and just see what happens. And Lisa's like, wow, that's a really cool idea. Too bad you're not doing it. But anyway, now that I'm done poking and prodding at my blanket, my wife's blanket, the blanket I'm not allowed to use. That's how it goes in this house. Anyway, I'm going to go give this back to the wife now because she let me borrow it long enough for the video. She's home right now. She's glaring at me. She wants her blanket back. I said the shop, and she's like, so, not shocked Pikachu face, angry Pikachu face. It's like, Pika, Pika. I can sell this in the shop, right?
No.
Why not?
You know why.
Yeah, it's mine.
All mine.
Okay. Okay, I should not be teasing my wife when she's off camera. I should turn the camera on her and then tease her. But anyway, this is done. I didn't get to show you the last piece. Like I said, it was Lisa has a muggle job. She has a day job and she has to get up in the morning. So when I realized what time it was, it's like, I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I wanted to get it done. So I just got it done. And yeah. You know, this is one of those sorry, not sorry moments, by the way. I'm a Canadian. We talk a certain way. And it's like when we're saying sorry, we just kind of mean, well, just so you know. But anyway, I'm going to go give this back to the wife now. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know this is a short one, but that's okay because I just wanted to give you an update and let you see the finished product. I know I finished it a couple days ago. I just didn't I put a couple photos on my Facebook page. I just didn't have time to actually do a quick little video showing it. And yeah, so that's that. And I'm coming back on Monday. I'll be live. Oh, I'm not live this Monday. I'm not sure when I'm coming live again. It's actually a holiday here. So we have other things that we plan on doing. But my next video will probably be live and we will probably be talking about doing quilt blocks and stuff like that. I want to start another project. Summertime, strangely, can be a really good time to start a project if you're using relatively small squares. Like I was sewing this thing and I had this thing spread out in my lap as I'm feeding it through the machine. So that gets hot. That gets really, really hot. But prepping small squares to get them, prepping your smaller stuff to make a pile so that when you have a nicer day, you can get into it and start doing things. That's different. So we're going to be talking about that on the next time I go live. We're going to be talking about that. I am just fiddling with this blanket now because I really like it and I'm not allowed to use it. I was allowed to make it. And then we're done now. Anyway, I will be back soon with either another video or a live stream. I'm not sure what's coming first. I was going to go live on Monday, but it's a holiday, so I'm not sure what that's going to look like now. But I will be back. And in the meantime, like, subscribe, ring the bell. You guys know the drill. And otherwise, have a good day, have a good weekend, have a good whatever's going on in your world, and I will see you soon. Bye.